everyone, and welcome back to the Dr. Film Show. Today, I am joined with David O. Russell, director of the hit 2012 American movie, The Silver Linings Playbook.
Good evening, Dr. Film. Thank you for having me.
Today, we are joined in front of a live audience. Yes! Of course. So, David, why don't you give us a brief summary?
I'd love to.
Now, to those of you at home who have yet to watch this movie, now's the time to change that channel to avoid spoilers.
So, The Silver Linings Playbook is a traditional translation based on the best-selling novel by Matthew Quick. The movie follows Pat, played by Bradley Cooper, who has just been released from a mental institution. Pat suffers from bipolar 1 disorder, which causes him to have frequent angry outbursts when people can contradict his delusion of reuniting with his ex-wife, Nikki. Despite its serious themes, this is indeed a feel-good rom-com in what is a rom-com without a manic pixie dream girl.
I don't know, David. What is it?
Probably not directed by a man, that's for sure. Enter Tiffany, played by Jennifer Lawrence, who received an Oscar for her performance. Just like Pat, she's newly single, but unlike Pat, she's ready to mingle.
I live in the addition around back, which is completely separate from my parents' house, so there's no chance of them walking in on us. I hate the fact that you wore a football jersey to dinner because I hate football, but you can fuck me if you turn the lights off, okay?
I didn't know it was that kind of movie. I took my kids to see this.
You know what, David? What I really enjoyed was the dynamic between Pat and Tiffany. Just enough calm to balance out that rom.
Died?
Cops die.
How'd he die?
Please, don't bring it up.
No, how did he die?
I just said...
How did who die?
Hey, Tiffany. This is Pat. Pat. Sister-in-law Tiffany.
You look nice.
Thank you.
I'm not flirting with you.
Oh, I didn't think you were.
I just see that you made an effort, and I'm gonna be better with my wife. I'm working on that. I want to acknowledge her beauty. I never used to do that. I'm gonna do that now, because we're gonna be better than ever, Nikki. Just practicing. How'd Tommy die? What about your job?
I just got fired, actually.
Oh, really? How? I mean, I'm sorry. How'd that happen?
Does it really matter?
Can't you just see the sparks? I got secondhand embarrassment just watching that.
Well, there would be no plot if they fell in love at first sight. Nothing like talking about someone's dead husband to break the ice. Am I right?
You know, one of my favorite scenes was when Pat is desperately searching for his and Nikki's wedding tape. Roll the clip, please.
Daddy, what are you doing?
He's got all his Eagles videos. We went in one video of my wedding. Is he here? I mean, wait.
It's probably in the attic.
Are you going to my study?
Feels to me like you want to hide my wedding video.
I'll see anything
You think I can't handle it?
Please stop yelling.
I'm not yelling, Mom. I'm just frustrated because I should have my fucking wedding videos.
Pat, I don't want
I looked over there. I already looked all over there. I'm not calming down. I don't give a fuck who here. I'm not calming down. Anybody can wake up. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of it. Let the whole neighborhood wake up. I don't care.
Stop it! Stop it!
No, Mom. What's going on?
Calm down!
What? Hey, it's my wedding. It's my wedding video. Oh, I can't watch a video. No. Mom! What the fuck you doing? You fucking
No. The quick cuts, the layers of sound, the loud music, the screaming. I just love how it makes the audience feel Pat's anxiety.
And all this over a VHS tape? You know, that scene gave me heart palpitations.
Well, you know, to Pat, it was much more than a VHS tape. It was proof of his and Nikki's marriage. And those heart palpitations, I'll take it as a compliment to my great editing. Pat's obsession with the idea of getting back together with Nikki is a major contributing factor to one of the best themes of the movie. To appreciate what you have instead of obsessing over what you don't. You know, one scene in particular really helps show how Pat and Tiffany's relationship dynamic changes over the time.
Hey!
What the fuck? I'm married!
So am I!
What the fuck are you doing? Your husband's dead!
Where's your wife?
You're crazy!
I'm not the one that just got out of that hospital in Baltimore.
I'm not the big slut!
What are you guys seeing? You know what I loved about this scene, David? What, Dr. Film?
Nothing.
You know, the scene really gives an amazing representation of how the journey of Pat and Tiffany's relationship really begins. You know, they both want each other to think that they don't have any interest in each other, but deep down, you can really feel the love between them.
No, absolutely not. The only thing this scene shows is how messy both Pat and Tiffany are. Neither one of them were ready for a relationship, especially not with each other.
I get why you would say that, Miss Wood. But what kind of rom-com would it be without an unlikely romance?
Hopefully not a movie at all.
Okay, moving on.
Fine. Well, another thing I hate about this movie is the lack of chemistry between your two supposed lovebirds. I mean, one's pining after a girl that doesn't even want him back, and the other one is just throwing herself at every man she gets in touch with because she's so insecure about herself.
But that's what makes this whole dilemma so intriguing. You remember the dance scene, don't you?
How could I forget?
Yeah, it was a train wreck.
Everybody's got a thing, but some don't know how to handle it. Always reaching out in vain, just taking the things not worth having. But don't you worry about a thing. Don't you worry about a thing, mama. 'Cause I'll be standing on the side when you check it out.
Well, my point still stands. They were both so painfully terrible in that dancing scene. I mean, I was cringing just watching it.
Alright, well, even though Pat and Tiffany are clearly not the best dancers, they both seem to be enjoying themselves.
That doesn't matter.
I didn't finish. This scene can be seen as a parallel to the fact that both Tiffany and Pat are seen as outcasts, considering they both have mental conditions, but together they are able to grow a meaningful relationship.
Okay, so maybe you're onto something, but I guess I just don't understand why you guys are so fond of this movie. I mean, what's the theme here? It's just not making any sense.
Well, I suppose that I can help with that. The theme is to focus on what you have, instead of obsessing over what you don't.
Well, okay, where's my example of this? I mean, throughout the whole movie, the characters don't exactly work together in order to resolve any ongoing issues that they have.
Well, that's why we have the Deus Ex Machina scene.
The what?
You heard me. It's when a problem in a story is suddenly resolved to bring a happy ending. Here's your clip.
Just leave me alone!
Wait a
please.
second. I have one more letter for you to read, okay?
What the fuck is the matter with you? Give it to her yourself!
Let me say something. You don't ever have to see me again if you just read it, all right?
This is so fucked up.
Yeah, just read it.
Dear Tiffany, I know you wrote the letter. The only way you can meet my
Crazy was by doing something crazy yourself. Thank you. I love you. I knew it the minute I met you. I'm sorry it took so long for me to catch up. I just got stuck. Pat.
During the dance we saw earlier, the audience thinks Pat is going to obsess over Nikki at the competition, but instead he chooses Tiffany. Now here, this scene shows Pat chasing Tiffany, instead of the other way around. This can be seen as a parallel to all of the times that Tiffany has chased after Pat. And it also shows that Pat has moved on from Nikki and realizes that he and Tiffany are a great match.
You know, I still don't see how Pat and Tiffany have shown character development on their own throughout this movie.
Well, I have the perfect scene for you.
Oh.
In this scene, you can see Pat's character development as clear as day. Roll the clip.
The world will break your heart 10 ways to Sunday, that's guaranteed. And I can't begin to explain that, or the craziness inside myself and everybody else, but guess what? Sunday's my favorite day again. I think of everything everyone did for me, and I feel like a very lucky guy.
In the beginning of the film, you see Pat as an obsessive character who refuses to take his meds.
Mm-hmm.
But by the end of the film, Pat eventually accepted himself and his relationship with Tiffany.
You know what? I think it's time I've come clean about something. I've never actually seen the movie in all of its entirety. Just snippets here and there. Kind of fell asleep the first time I saw the movie, back when I took my kids to see it, not gonna lie. But now, with all of this new information and insight, I really wish I did see the movie.
Really?
No, I hate rom-coms.
Then why are you here?
You guys kind of just left the door unlocked, and I just kind of came in.
Well, shit. And lastly, what is a movie without a rating? We will be judging the movie on 3 different categories. The first one being characterization. Characterization receives a 10 out of 10. The casting was excellent, and the personalities of the characters really helped to advance the plot and just made the movie way more interesting. Next is cinematography. This is a solid 9 out of 10. The movie had a great soundtrack and lots of quick cuts to emphasize chaos happening throughout the movie. Last is plot. Plot receives a 7 out of 10. There's not that much to complain about the plot, except for the fact that the ending was pretty abrupt, and at times it was a little cheesy. Overall, this gives the film a total score of 8.66666666. Well, David, it was very nice to have you on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Dr. Film.
So where do you think the real Miss Wood was? Beats me! But David, you know what I would have done differently? What is that, Dr. Film? I would have just sent Pat and Tiffany to the ranch. Yes!